Welcome to this week's Ramblings of a Witch. I will be sharing all sorts of fun and spooky events taking place this Halloween season, so keep an eye out for more frequent mini episodes as my calendar is filling up with things to do. Let's start with a gold rush adventure where witches and ghosts share a glass of wine. Today we have with us Christopher Butner, who runs an event that really caught my eye, the Murphy's Witch Walk. So welcome to Ramblings of a Witch, Christopher.
Good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here, Jennifer. Thank you.
Thanks for coming and talking to me about this witch walk, which
my pleasure.
I have to know all about it. So what is a witch walk? And please don't tell me it's a marathon because, we keep rooms for that kind of thing. So
my business partner who founded this back in 2016 thought this was a really great idea to just improve tourism to the little town of Murphy's. And the really unique thing about Murphy's is it is one of the oldest towns in California. And Murphy's is called the Queen of the Sierras. It was one of the most lucrative gold rush towns of the era. Murphy's was established, I think, in 1848.
Okay, so if the town has existed since 1848, it has to be haunted, right?
Yeah, the Murphy's Historic Hotel is considered to be haunted, and that is the oldest continually operating hotel in California.
So it still looks like a Wild West kind of...
Exactly.
Ooh.
So when you come here, the town has this really unique kind of Wild West, Western town design aesthetic meets Gothic architecture. So it's a great backdrop for a town-wide costumed festival like the Witch
Wild
Walk.
West Witches. I love it.
Wild West Witches. Okay, note to self. I'm writing that down.
I just envision broomsticks and gunslingers. I love it.
I will share the copyright with you on that. So that's wonderful.
Okay, so you have this amazing historic Wild West town that's an incredible wine tasting destination for people to come to. So how did you take that, though, and go, you know what we need? We need a bunch of witches. Now, everybody needs a bunch of witches, but how did you get to there?
It's really a decentralized kind of thing that allows all of the businesses to do whatever they want to do, design accordingly, have live music in their businesses, etc. We want the stores to be the destinations, hence the reason why we ask all the store owners to decorate accordingly and then have music and do fun stuff. And reaching out to a couple of the older tasting rooms. And when I say older tasting rooms, wine tasting rooms, these are tasting rooms that are in buildings that were built from like the 1860s to the 1890s. So
they were probably haunted too.
And that's exactly that. You see, hey, great minds think alike. So I'm talking to those owners of those tasting rooms to say, hey, if you can regale people with haunted stories about what you know about your building, that is, twice, turn of two centuries, 19th century and 21st century, it's like, it's all these fun things that the business owners get to do.
Now, I know that you are drawing in tourists and everything with this event, but looking at your website, it actually looks like there's some pretty witchy companies involved. I see an apothecary. Is that a shop that's there in Murphy's or just part of a pop-up event? I see an oddities market.
We run 2 vendor bazaars as part of the Witch Walk. And other businesses have artisan pop-ups on the street. So there's about a total of 5 vendor bazaars on the street, whether it's produced by existing retail businesses or produced by us. So Wicked Gypsies Witch Gang Apothecary
I love everything you just said. Okay.
I was like, I hope that's not redundant. But anyway,
Nope, love it.
that is run by a friend of mine, Pamela Jorgensen, out of Sacramento, and her website is witchgang.com, and you can check that out.
Yes, I think everyone should go check that out. That's amazing.
And then we have the Menagerie Oddities Market, and that is the menagerieodditiesmarket.com as a vendor and sponsor. And that is run by Constance and Michael Garcia, and they are based in Alameda. And they are also sponsoring an author tour with Dacre Stoker, who is the great grandnephew of the legendary Bram Stoker, author of Dracula, because
I've heard of that book, yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody has.
So is he going to be at the Witch Walk?
We, as an event production company, are bringing Dacre to the Bret Hart Theater in Angels Camp on October 4th. And you can look him up at dacrestoker.com, DACRESTOKER.com.
How fun is that?
Yeah, so, we're kind of dialed into horror and witches and vampires and oh my, if you will.
Well, right. No, I mean, this is more than just a wine walk with a witch hat. You actually have a bunch of really neat witchy things that my listeners would love. I mean, of course, we love the wine, but you actually have like some spooky vendors and some spooky history there in the town.
Well, the event has really kind of evolved into this town-wide costumed event, and people just come and have a great time dressing as their most favorite literary characters, from anything from The Wizard of Oz to Lord of the Rings to Hocus Pocus, and it's really just a fantastic event. Our vendor bazaars from last year has grown from 12 vendors to 40, not including the other vendor bazaars that are produced, like I said, by existing
individually
brick and
by
mortar.
The people there. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So we're very selective about what kind of vendors we bring into the show. We select vendors based upon how unique their product is, how odd their product is. And so all of our vendor bazaars are really unique. All of our vendors are really unique.
It's always rough when you go to an event and you go, oh, look, another store selling the same thing. Because you go to these kind of events to find something unique and different. And with something like the Witch Walk, you're hoping to find something truly unique to bring home. So that's great to hear.
I have one vendor. She last year, she makes these incredible witch hats for women, and she goes by the name of Peculiar Charm. You could find her on Instagram. And last year she made 12 of these stunning hand-sewn witch hats and sold out in 90 minutes.
Oh and my goodness. I hope she brings more this year.
she's bringing 50 this year, and I think she's just
I bet she sells out. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, we're supporting Ronald McDonald House Charities of Northern California. We're selling goodie bags. We have a $5 charge just to get into the vendor bazaar, with a portion of the profits going to Ronald McDonald House Charities. And it really is an incredibly wonderful event.
Do you have any tips or anything for first-time visitors, other than to make sure, they have their broom and their best witch costume? Is there anything else you'd like to share?
It's just a great event. It's very much a female empowerment event where women can just look beautiful, be safe, have a great time shopping with the girls. When the town starts to get dark and you hear music coming from everywhere, and with all of this incredible, beautiful ambient light from the businesses, with all of these witches walking up and down the street, the silhouettes of them against the darkness and the laughter and the cackling and the music and the giggling is absolutely wonderful. This event has
magical, you might say.
it's very bewitching is even a better term. Magic, yeah, hell yeah. And it has really kind of a cross between Mardi Gras meets Halloween. If you are going to come, I do need to let you know that it is such a popular event. I think most of the hotels and a good portion of the Airbnbs have been sold out for at least 2 weeks already. So our neighboring town is called Angels Camp, and it's only
Okay.
9 or 10 miles down the road. There's a lot of wonderful hotels down there. Have a designated driver.
So you can't really rely on getting an Uber or a Lyft.
No, there is a bus company here. So if you want to call them and get your girls on, they're called Gold Rush Tour Company, and it's goldrushtourcompany.com. So no, there's very limited to, actually, there's no taxis up here.
Okay, so that's good to know. So you need a designated driver. You need that.
Yeah. And
that
since it's an old
that can
town,
still fly.
there's a couple of public parking lots in Murphy's. There's one by the Murphy's Creek Theater, the Mason Hall, the old schoolhouse. There's street parking. And I really do need to give a major shout out to the Calaveras County Sheriff's Department, who provide just exemplary law enforcement and security for our event. So thanks, guys.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Because, when you go to a female-centric event and everybody's out there drinking, it's nice to know that you're in a safe space and can relax and really enjoy yourself, especially when you're there with your friends. Christopher, this sounds like a truly bucket list kind of event. I know me and my girlfriends would absolutely love to go be witchy all day and drink wine all night. And I'm sure lots of my listeners will agree with me that it's worth taking the trek out to Murphy's for this event. But before you leave, I gotta ask you my standard 3 questions, if you don't mind.
Fire away.
All right. What's your favorite scary movie, Christopher?
My favorite scary movie of all time is the director's cut of Aliens.
Oh, so specific. Not just Aliens, the director's cut. But
The director's
good choice.
cut.
Good choice.
Yes, I love that movie. That's comfort food. I could watch that all the time.
Have you ever had a supernatural experience or something that you couldn't explain happen to you?
Absolutely. I'm originally from New York, and for a short period of time, I lived in a very old 100-year-old plus warehouse. This was in my early 20s, and it was the band's studio, because when I was young and immortal, I was trying to be a rock star. And I lived there for about 4 months, and I would just hear all these weird sounds at night. And when I would walk to the bathroom, my cat would follow me. And I'm walking out of the bathroom and I hear concrete scraping, as if you're hearing like the lid come off of a crypt. And I froze and I looked out into the darkness of this giant 3,000 square foot loft that I lived in. And I just froze because the sound was so loud, and it was almost like you could feel the sound in the air pressure. And I stopped and I thought, nothing, it's my imagination. And I looked down at my cat, and she was totally puffed up, arching her back.
Oh, no.
And she was staring out into the darkness. So I'm not
that would
cracking
have been it for
up.
me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't
no.
live there much longer after that. I think I lasted about a month. And
Oh my
before
goodness,
I found
you
another
stayed the
apartment.
night?
Well, I lived there. I had no choice. Yeah.
I would have been calling a friend and saying, I
Yeah.
need to stay at your house.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is the one, paranormal.
Did you ever find out, like, if there was some history
Never.
there that, I don't know. You might not want to, right? You might.
I don't know. It's a 150-year-old warehouse that when you got up on the roof, you were 3 stories above the East River. And God only knows
I don't
what
care.
happened.
That view would not, no.
That
view would not be enough.
that view made it up. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I got poltergeist all around me, but that view.
No. Okay, so last question. All right.
Yeah.
Of all those scary creatures and things that go bump in the night, what thing would you be the most scared to find out really existed? Like what of those creatures would you most not want to run into?
They're called Cenobites, and they all scare the hell out of me. And when did the first Hellraiser movie come out? I have no idea. Like the late 80s or something, but that's a series of movies I should really go back and research, because there's a fine line between genius and insanity. And whoever created the Hellraiser Cenobites is the living embodiment of that very cliche that there is a fine line between genius and insanity, because, man, those characters scare the snot out of me.
All right. Well, thank you for answering those. It's just always fun to know those things about people.
What an absolute pleasure. Thank you for this opportunity. It's great talking to you.
It was great talking to you, and best of luck on the event. It sounds like it just gets bigger and better every year. Hopefully some of my listeners will be coming to check you out next month.
Hope so. Check out murphyswitchwalk.com, gang. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Murphy's Witchwalk, and on Twitter it is at Murphy's Witch WLK. And then sign up for our newsletter.
All right. Thank you, Christopher. You have a good night.
Thank you, Jennifer. You too.
I don't know about you, but I want a glass of wine. Haunted hotels, witches everywhere, strange wares to purchase. I do believe a road trip is in order. If you make it out to the Witch Walk in Murphy's, I would love to see you in all of your witchy glory. If you can't send it by Raven, send it by email to jennifer@witchvoice.com. I hope you enjoyed listening to us ramble on. And if you loved it, please leave me a review and consider joining my Patreon for even more content, or sending me a cup of coffee. You can find all those links in the show notes and on my Instagram @thewitchvoice. Until next time, stay wicked.